Yeah, be cool, just move with the groove. No funk in here, the beat way too smooth. Yeah, let's just do what we came to do. Just vibe with it, vibe with it. Be cool, just move with the groove. Let's go.
It's Adult Learners Week. Now I'm here with Adam Saul from Cambridge PR, who's going to talk to us about how adult education centres can use Adult Learners Week to raise their profile and get stories into the local media.
Adult Learners Week it's a real opportunity for local centres. Adult education will be in the news during that week. There's a considerable effort around promoting Adult Learners Week nationally. So it provides a real opportunity for you as a local centre to contact your media to have a real story to tell. Well, really, again, it's because of that the national stories that will be going out. Adult Learning Australia will be sending out a media release and also undertaking local radio work nationally with Professor Barry Golding. So it'll be in the news anyway. If the local centres can create stories about themselves and contact the local media, they can effectively piggyback on all this activity. Well, I think during Adult Learners Week there are probably 4 or 5 different things that centres could look at. Firstly, Adult Learning Australia will be providing them with a media kit, so there'll be some basic guidelines for contacting the media. There'll also be a template media release in there that the centres can adapt to their own purposes. But in terms of creating something that's really of interest to the local media, centres could look at creating a small event, perhaps having an open day and inviting the media along. A lot of local media really like case studies focusing on people living in the community. So perhaps you've got someone who's completed a course with you and gone on to do wonderful things, or a really interesting story behind them. Contact them, introduce them to the local media, and that would also be a great story. I guess one other thing is, the local mayors, local councillors always like to be in the press. The local media cover them, so perhaps invite them along to a special event to celebrate Adult Learners Week. In the media kit, as I said, will be a template press release. There'll be a backgrounder on what Adult Learners Week is all about. That'll provide background information to discuss with the journalists generally. But also there'll be some resources and references, really with further details on how you contact the media, what to say, what not to say. And very importantly as well, there'll be full details of the national publicity programme for Adult Learners Week, along with some social media tips and suggestions. It is really, it's about the research behind the scenes. Now, it shouldn't cost you any money. It'll take a bit of time, but not too much time. Really, it's about knowing who your local media outlet is. Now, in the main, you'll have your weekly newspapers. Some larger areas will have daily newspapers, and then really your radio, whether it's community, commercial, or ABC, and of course television. You'll only attract television along if you have a really big event. So I think for the purposes of this, probably discount television, really focus on the local media, really focus on the local radio. So a lot of people will know who the local media outlets are. If not, there's a couple of great free resources online. Google is your best friend as ever. One is newspapers.com.au, list every local newspaper in Australia, and the other one is oddsradiostations.com. AUSradiostations.com. Again, it lists every local radio station. Get the number, ring them up, explain who you are. By this time you will have put together your local story, and just talk to the journalist. Perhaps give them 2-3 ideas, and normally at a local level they will help you put that story together. I would say always get on the phone first of all. Have some ideas in your head, get on the phone, they'll tell you whether they like the ideas. If they pick one, you then know which one to work up. I think with, again, local publications are normally very friendly and helpful. I would ask either to talk to the editor, or if the editor isn't available, tell the person on the phone that you've got a local story to discuss, who is the best person to talk to. The order of contacting the media should be you contact print media 10 days to a week out from your event. Most of the regional newspapers operate on weekly deadlines. That gives them time to do their own research, talk to you, put the story to bed. With radio, anywhere from 3 days out, 2 days out. Radio moves very quickly. You know, if there's something, you might contact the radio 3 days out. If they like your story, you might get a sudden phone call on the day they want to broadcast. No, they certainly shouldn't have to pay for editorial unless a journalist, or unless an advertising salesperson, makes it clear that they are paying for an advertisement, and there is an advertorial, which is paid for editorial that goes with it. But some of the story ideas we've been discussing all have editorial merit in their own right, so you should not pay for them.
Yeah, be cool, just move with the